Welcome to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm your host, Beatrix Kiddo. It's January 10th, 2025, and we've got a jam-packed show for you today. First up, do you knock on wood to avoid bad luck? Well, it turns out superstitions may still have a place in our modern world. We'll take a look at how these seemingly irrational beliefs can actually benefit us. Next, if you're afraid of spiders, you might want to skip this next story. A giant funnel web spider with fangs so big it could bite through a human fingernail has arrived at an Australian zoo. We'll have all the creepy crawly details. Then we'll take a trip back in time to the Jurassic period as we explore a newly discovered dinosaur highway filled with hundreds of footprints. And speaking of ancient history, have you ever wondered about the ghosts in the machine? We'll dive into the mysterious world of artificial intelligence and its potential to be haunted. Volcanoes, they're either active, dormant, or extinct, right? But what exactly does that mean? We'll break it down for you. And finally, TikTok creators are on edge as the US government threatens to ban the app. We'll look at what's happening and what it could mean for the platform's future. So sit back and let AI guide you through the chaos of today's news. It's going to be a wild ride. Reported by Sarah Cowie, a new study has found that humans are particularly susceptible to superstitions because we are not very good at discerning when our actions cause an outcome versus when our actions just coincide with an outcome. The study tested whether people could tell the difference between outcomes they caused and outcomes they didn't cause, and found that participants often got it right. But when they weren't sure, they defaulted to saying, "I caused it," even if they actually hadn't. This bias to attribute outcomes to their own actions, particularly after winning outcomes, may be the key to explaining why we're superstitious. The study also found that engaging in superstitious behavior can increase confidence in our abilities to achieve a goal, improve performance in different tasks, and alleviate anxiety by giving us a sense of control. The tendency to attribute positive outcomes to our actions can also boost self-esteem and psychological well-being. So it seems that indulging in a little superstitious behavior may not be such a bad thing after all. A record-breaking male funnel web spider, measuring 3.6 inches from foot to foot, has been donated to the Australian Reptile Park in Somersby, New South Wales. The spider, named Hemsworth, is so large that its fangs could pierce through a human fingernail and deliver lethal venom. Sydney funnel web spiders are among the most venomous spiders in the world, with a single bite capable of killing a small child within 15 minutes and an adult within 3 days if left untreated. The Australian Reptile Park encourages donations of funnel web spiders to support its spider venom program, which produces life-saving antivenom against Sydney funnel web spider and other spider bites. Before Hemsworth, the record for the biggest male funnel web spider belonged to a 3.1-inch arachnid called Hercules. Male funnel web spiders are typically smaller than females, but are more dangerous due to a chemical in their venom called atrachotoxin that affects the nervous system of humans and monkeys. There have been no reported deaths from funnel web spider bites since the introduction of an antivenom in 1981. The Australian Reptile Park is the only facility in Australia that milks funnel web spiders for raw venom, and the resulting antivenom saves up to 300 lives per year. The park has designated spider drop-off points dotted around Sydney, the Central Coast, and Newcastle. Staff collect the spiders and milk them weekly before sending off the venom to a laboratory that makes the antivenom. However, milking spiders is a tedious process, and it takes about 150 to 200 milkings to create one vial of antivenom. Therefore, Hemsworth is a very welcome addition to the park's spider stock. Reported by Sasha Pare. Paleontologists have discovered a dinosaur trackway in Oxfordshire, England, that contains about 200 footprints from the Jurassic period. The tracks were made by a variety of dinosaurs, including large herbivorous sauropods and carnivorous theropods. Specifically, the research team believes they were left by the 60-foot-long Cetiosaurus and the 29.5-foot-long Megalosaurus, respectively. The trackway is the largest in the United Kingdom and provides valuable insights into the ancient world. Dinosaur footprints are fossilized traces of ancient life as it happened and can show how many different organisms and individuals occupied a site at a given time, the kind of environment they were traveling through, and the various sizes and ages of the creatures in the area. The team took over 20,000 images of the prints during the recent excavation, which could provide information about the animals that made the tracks and potential interactions between the animals. The preservation is so detailed that scientists can see how the mud was deformed as the dinosaur's feet squelched in and out. This is not the first dinosaur trackway discovered in Oxfordshire. Over 40 sets of fossil footprints were found in a limestone quarry in the area in 1997. However, technological advancements have allowed paleontologists to catalog much more information about the trackways than before. Further scrutiny will likely yield more details about the Jurassic creatures that crisscross the site. This discovery is a testament to the fact that there is still new evidence of ancient life waiting to be found. As Emma Nichols, a vertebrate paleontologist at the Oxford University Museum of Natural History, said in a University of Birmingham release, scientists have known about and been studying Megalosaurus for longer than any other dinosaur on Earth. And yet, these recent discoveries prove there is still new evidence of these animals out there waiting to be found. Reported by Isaac Schultz. Spotify has been accused of filling its popular playlists with cheap fake artist offerings created by the company, according to a report by Liz Pelly in Harpers.org. The allegations first surfaced in 2017, and despite Spotify's denial, the issue has continued to attract media attention. The fake artists are often linked to stock music companies like Epidemic Sound, and their music has replaced well-known artists in popular playlists like Ambient Chill. The fake artist saga has contributed to growing criticism of Spotify's business practices, including its move into podcasting and its introduction of discovery mode, which allows musicians to accept lower royalty rates in exchange for algorithmic promotion. In 2022, an investigation by the Swedish daily Dagens Nyheter revealed that around 20 songwriters were behind the work of more than 500 artists, and that thousands of their tracks were on Spotify and had been streamed millions of times. The report raises troubling prospects for working musicians and questions about the future of the relationship between listeners and artists. Volcanoes operate on their own timescales, sometimes lying dormant for centuries before erupting again. According to volcanologist Ben Kennedy, a volcano is considered active if it has erupted during the Holocene epoch, which began 11,700 years ago. A volcano that hasn't erupted in that time is considered extinct. However, this distinction is somewhat arbitrary, as volcanoes don't operate on human timescales. After 11,000 years, most magma chambers and the plumbing feeding them will have crystallized into solid rock, making them incapable of eruption. However, there is an exception for supervolcanoes with giant magma chambers, such as the Yellowstone caldera. These systems are often considered restless, as they have moving magma underpinning them, causing small earthquakes and heating hot springs and geysers. The term dormant is also used, but it is a fuzzy term that can refer to an active volcano that isn't currently erupting or a very old volcano that's probably never going to erupt again. Many active volcanoes have long dormant periods, such as Mount St. Helens and Mount Taranaki in New Zealand. In Iceland, the Sunnukar crater row in western Iceland, which hadn't been active for 800 years, suddenly began to open a series of rifts, releasing fiery lava flows. Volcanologists expect that the volcanic system will continue to erupt for centuries. Reported by Stephanie Pappas. The US is on the verge of banning TikTok, the wildly popular video sharing app, due to national security concerns about consumer data. Congress has passed legislation that will ban TikTok from January 19th, unless its Chinese parent company ByteDance sells its U.S. operation to a U.S. entity. The Supreme Court will hear arguments on Friday, and if it sides with Congress, TikTok will have just 8 days to negotiate a deal. However, ByteDance has stated that breaking up TikTok in this way is not an option. Although President Donald Trump tried to ban the app during his first term, he has since had a change of heart. However, it is unclear what he could do legally to stop the coming ban. And now that he has won the election, there doesn't seem to be much incentive for him to do so. If the ban is enacted, Americans will still be able to use the app, but they won't be able to get updates, causing the app to become glitchy and eventually stop working. Additionally, app stores such as the Apple Store and Google Play must remove the TikTok app from January 19th, preventing new users from downloading the app. TikTok's ad revenue in the US is estimated to reach $11 billion in 2024, but it is likely to decline sharply if the ban comes into force. Creators may continue producing content on other platforms, but the future of TikTok in the US looks uncertain. Reported by Tom May. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm Beatrix Kiddo, your daily host, bringing you the latest news and analysis from an AI perspective. We hope you found today's show informative and thought-provoking. Remember to always fact-check AI-based news summaries before sharing them. On this day in history, in 1863, the London Underground, the world's first underground passenger railway, opened. Join us again tomorrow for more news and insights. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Have a great day.